If you want to buy your first place in Calgary, but you have no idea where to actually start, this video is for you. Not the 10 tips version, the real version. Most first-time buyers I talk to feel the same thing. They want to do it, they just don't know what step one is. And there's so much noise online that it feels like everyone else got a manual, you didn't. You didn't miss a manual. Nobody knows how to do this the first time, and by the end of this, you'll know the actual order of operations, what to do first, what it costs in Calgary specifically, and the free help most people don't find out about until it's too late. I'm David, I'm a realtor here in Calgary, and I walk people through their first purchase all the time. And honestly, the I don't know where to start feeling is the most normal thing in the world. It's not a sign you're not ready. I'm not gonna sell you anything in this video. I'm just gonna tell you what I'd tell a friend who asked me over coffee. So let's get into it. Here's the first thing, and it's the opposite of what most people do. Step one is not looking at houses. I know scrolling listings is the fun part, but if you start there, you'll either fall in love with something you can't borrow for, or you'll talk yourself out of the whole thing because you're guessing at the numbers. Step one is a conversation with a mortgage broker, not the bank, a broker. A broker shops a bunch of lenders for you instead of selling you one bank's products, and it costs you nothing. They get paid by the lender. And what you want out of that conversation is a pre-approval. That's them looking at your income, your debts, and your down payment and telling you the actual number you can work with. A pre-approval does two things. It tells you your real budget, so you're shopping in reality, and it locks the rate in for usually around 120 days. So if rates climb while you're looking, you're protected. Get this done first because everything after it gets easier. Okay, the down payment. And this is where the myths live. You've probably heard you need 20% down. You don't. Not for your first home. The way it works right now, you need 5% down on the first $500,000 of the price and 10% on the portion above that. So a $450,000 place, which buys you a real starter in Calgary, a condo or a townhouse or an entry-level half duplex in communities like Cornerstone, Legacy, or Mahogany, that's about $22,500 down. A $600,000 home is 5% on the first 500 plus 10% on the last 100. So that's around $35,000. Now, if you put down less than 20%, you pay for mortgage insurance through CMHC. People hear that and panic. Don't. It just gets added onto your mortgage, and it's what lets you buy with 5% down in the first place. And for first-time buyers, it's the right trade. Then there's closing costs, so budget roughly 1.5% of the price for legal fees, title, and the small stuff. On a $450,000 place, that's around $6,000 to $7,000. And there's a genuinely good piece of Calgary news. Alberta has no land transfer tax. So if you've got friends who bought in Toronto or Vancouver, they paid tens of thousands in tax just to transfer the title. We don't have that here. We pay small registration fees instead, usually under $1,000 all in. That's a real advantage of buying in Alberta, and almost nobody talks about it. Okay, this is the part I'd really want you to know because this is money on the table that a lot of people leave there. First, the FHSA, the first home savings account. You can put in up to $8,000 a year, up to $40,000 total. It works two ways at once. You get a tax deduction when you put your money in, kind of like an RRSP, and you pull it out like a tax-free for your home. So like a TFSA. If you're saving for a first place and you don't have one of these open, that's usually the first move. Even opening it starts the clock on your contribution room. Second, the RRSP Home Buyers Plan. If you've got money in an RRSP, you can borrow up to $60,000 from yourself for your down payment. Tax-free and pay it back over time. You can use both of these together. And third, there's a first-time buyer's tax credit, about $1,500 back at tax time. Not life-changing, but it's yours. Take it. And one more rule worth knowing, first-time buyers can now stretch the mortgage for over 30 years instead of 25, and that lowers your monthly payment. It means more interest over the life of the loan, so it's a trade-off, but if a slightly longer amortization is what gets you in the door, it's worth understanding. None of this is complicated once someone lays it out, it just never gets laid out. So let's put it in order start to finish so the whole thing stops feeling like a fog. 1, talk to a broker and get pre-approved. That's your budget and your rate. 2, find an agent you trust to represent you as a buyer. And here's something a lot of first-timers don't realize. When you're buying, your agent's commission is typically paid out of the deal by the seller's side. So having someone in your corner usually costs you nothing directly. 3, now you look, the fun part. except you're looking at the right homes in your real range. 4, you find one, you write an offer. Your offer almost always has conditions on it, a financing condition so your lender signs off, and a home inspection so you know what you're actually buying. And remember, those conditions are there for your protection. You're not locked in until you're satisfied. 5, conditions come off, the deal is firm, and then you wait for possession day when you get the keys. That's the whole arc. Broker, agent, look, offer, conditions, keys. So if you've been sitting on this feeling like you're behind or don't know where to even start, you're not, and you don't have to. Step 1 is just a conversation. No commitment, no pressure, no credit check, nothing. If you're thinking about buying your first place in Calgary and you want someone to walk you through your specific situation, you can find me at calgaryrealestatehomes.ca or just DM me. My DMs are always open. And if this was useful, subscribe because I make these exactly for the buyer you are right now.